everyone, welcome back to Studio 33 Art by Kay. Today I'm going to have a bit of an experiment and I'm going to use a 15 centimetre by 15 centimetre ceramic tile. They're great for trying out different experiments and testing out colours and so on. And then you can use them as a nice large coaster, which is a good idea. And today I'm going to use these fluoro colours, but over the top of them I'm going to put some interference colours. So the fluoros are mainly Global and Eraldo colours. The interference colours I'm using are the Pouring Masters Ready to Pour Special Effects Interference Pearl colours. So when I've drizzled them over the tile here, I'm then going to use the Amsterdam Oxide Black as a cell activator, and hopefully that will really bring up the interference part of the interference paints. So for those of you that don't know what an interference paint is, it's a paint that basically looks white when it's in the container, but when you hold it up to the light it turns into whatever colour it is, in this case blue, so it turns into beautiful blue shimmer, or it might be gold or violet or red, depending on what interference colour you've used. And it works particularly well against black because that helps to reflect the colours. So without further ado, I'm going to lay down my beautiful fluoro colours, and then on top of that I'll put the interference. In fact, I might I might mix them up a bit as I go, and then I'll do the swipe. Okay. So I've got here the Global Fluoro Orange. Now I haven't put down a base because I'm going to be putting down quite a lot of paint, and there should be enough paint with all the colours I'm putting down to completely cover the tile. You don't have to prime your tiles with anything, just literally the paint. So next I'll put down the red interference pearl, which is the Pouring Masters colours. Now the Global and the Eraldo have been mixed with Australian Floetrol. The Pouring Masters is literally being poured straight out of the bottle. Next I'm going to put down the Eraldo Neon Blue. So as I put each colour down, I'm trying to sort of fill up the gaps so that we end up with our tile completely covered. So I hope I'm going to get some really interesting cells out of doing it this way, but I really don't know till I've done it. Next I'm going to put down the blue interference. No particular rhyme nor reason. And then the green, Global Fluoro Green. Always make sure you've got your edges covered as well. And then we have a bottle straight into the tile. Never mind, it's not going to matter. So this one's the violet interference. Unfortunately, the interference, it's hard to see them on camera, but I'll hopefully be able to pick it up for you later on when I put the torch on. So I've just made a bit of a mess here, dropping my paint straight in there. Next is the Fluoro Yellow by Global. And then the gold interference pearl. It's really nice, the gold one, I love it. And last but not least, the Global Fluoro Pink, which I absolutely love. Just like to thank all of you, those of you who have subscribed to my channel so far too. I really appreciate it. And if you haven't already, if you would like to, that would be fantastic. Thank you so much. Now I've got a little offset spatula that I got from the Fluid Art Co, who sell the little piggies. So it's a really good little one. I really like using this actually instead of using the playing cards. And I'm going to put on there the Amsterdam Oxide Black cell activator. Now I've mixed that up about 1 part paint to 4 parts Floetrol, but I mix it to a consistency where when I drizzle it back, it will then bounce back onto the stick. And I don't think I can really show you there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it bounces back onto the stick after about the count of 5. So I'm just going to about half cover my little spatula there, and then very, very lightly swipe down. And hopefully I'll get cells. Yes, we have cells. Beautiful, beautiful cells. Unfortunately, as you go down, you have less and less cell activator, so they become more elongated. But that's okay, that's all a part of the look. So just do another swipe. Very lightly. This little spatula is actually quite easy to hold and control. Always make sure you clean your spatula off between each swipe, otherwise you're going to muddy your colours. And I'm never too worried if I've missed a few little bits, because I quite like those when they get spun out anyway. So now I'm just going to do a bit of a wreck through this. So I've done my drizzle, I've done my swipe, and now I'm going to do a wreck. I'm just loving these cells with the fluoro and then the interference over the top. Hopefully I'll get something nice when I wreck. Now wreck is just using a bamboo skewer, and then you literally draw lines through it however you want them to be. I usually like to start about here and take it all the way around. And down and off. You can do them however you like. Do another one over here. Well, if nothing else, it's interesting. I like my bit of bright pink there. I'm loving these little guys here. Okay, so now I'm just going to give this a gentle spin. I don't want it to go too spinny. So I'll just do a gentle spin to start with, and then we can spin it some more if I want to after that. So what the spinning does, it opens up your cells and spreads everything. And sometimes I like to spin, and sometimes I just like to leave it as it is. So you can see how it's made the wrecking line sort of go all wavy, which is fine. But if you wanted it to stay looking how it did when you first did it, then you just don't spin out much at all. I'm loving the interference colours there on top of the fluoros. It's really something different. So I'm just going to hit it with the heat embossing tool now, just to burst any bubbles, and also it helps to bring up any more cells. Yeah, you really need to see it in real life, because when I look sideways, you've got your fluoros and then you've got the interference over the top. It's quite interesting. It's not something I think I'll do again, but it is interesting nonetheless. I think I might do a couple of little finger pops just to see. Sometimes that can bring up colours from underneath and create some really nice little patterns as well. The wow in this is when you look at it sideways, when you've got the light coming across, and with the fluoros, and then you've got that interference. It's actually quite pretty. I'm not sure I'm loving the composition here. I think I'm just going to try and, we've got our excess paint off, so I'm just going to try and do a couple, tidy up those wrecking lines a bit. Ooh. I'm not having a very good day like that, am I? First of all, I dropped the bottle in, and then I dropped mascara in. I love that little bit there. I just wanted to do a little kiss, yeah. Thought that would come up really pretty. So just look for anything that you think that would come up really nice if you did a little kiss on there with your finger. You've got to make sure the edges are all covered, which they are. Now when I've finished this, I will put it up on some cups to dry, and I'll make sure I wipe underneath all of the edge to make sure that there's no drips. Otherwise the composition will keep running off. And so that's that one for you guys. Hopefully you like it. It's a bit different. I don't know if it's different good or different bad. Anyway, nonetheless, it showed you what would happen if you mix fluoros with interference. And so it was a good little experiment. Okay, I'll bring you down for a close-up. So here we are coming down for the close-up of this fluoro interference masterpiece. As you can see, that's the interference colours there. I'll just try and bring the, you can see the shimmer, and then you've got those bright fluoros underneath, like here. It's just lovely there, isn't it? Just there. You've got the fluoros coming through and the interference on top of it. So I'm not sure it's something that I love, but it's certainly interesting and was worth giving a go. So it's an interesting little piece, and I'm sure when I resin this, it will come up a treat with all those interference colours shimmering away on top of those fluoros. Okay, so that's it for today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that one. It was just a bit of an experiment, and I'll see you back here in Studio 33 in the not too distant future. Until then, stay safe. Bye-bye.